What's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about the December 27th NBA slate on Wednesday. We've got 6 games, some fun matchups. It's not like a huge slate, but we're going to look for all the value we can find for first look, and I'm sure there will be a lot more options tomorrow during the daily show. Before we get started with that, though, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen, and they'll double your first deposit up to $100. They're just going to match whatever you put on. So if you use the whole 100, you'll get 200 to play with. Just use our code, and they'll hook you up with that deal. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We run our late night show, we run a daily show, and we do have new content in the works for 2024. We'll probably have it launched early 2024. So we're going to be getting into other platforms and other types of DFS and whatnot. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just make sure you're subscribed and you'll be notified when we drop our videos. And we're going to do we'll do a quick recap. Let me just get through my 2 trash picks.
You're fine.
And then you can do yours if that's cool. And then we can talk about your sweep that you got, which is awesome. I took CJ McCollum to go over 3.5. I think it was. Yeah, it was 3.5 rebounds. And he didn't end up hitting this. Plays like that, when the rebounds are set that low for a player, I felt good about it. I liked the matchup. I liked the odds where the odds makers had it at and whatnot. But it is a little bit of a dice throw, or a dart throw, or like a roll of the dice. I mean, we're gambling, so all of it's a roll of the dice. But when it's set that low, I felt like, it's just easy enough to hit. But he ended up having one of those nights where he went for 2 rebounds and 2 assists on 39 minutes. So not the best outing for him outside of scoring. I think he scored 16 points. And then we had Clint Capella. I took him over 25.5 PRA. This one's a different story for me. I felt really good about that. I loved the matchup. And I think that it honestly isn't his fault. He got his typical minutes. He went for 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. But the Hawks were just throwing up so many threes. They weren't utilizing him properly, in my opinion. He was 5 for 9, so he had a decent field goal percentage. But the Hawks shot 46 3-pointers and sank 13 of them for 28% shooting. And they just, I'm like, dude, you had a relatively close game. You lost by 5. You should have just been trying to get it done in the paint a little bit more. But I mean, honestly though, I gotta also give credit to Drummond. Oh my God, Drummond went for 24 points and 25 rebounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he went for 25 rebounds. So that's also part of the problem for Clint Capella. It didn't hit. I felt good about it, and it is what it is. I had a rough bounce back after my little Christmas break when you took the video solo. So I got to get back on track here because you're in rhythm right now, thankfully.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you can get into yours now if you want.
Yeah.
All 6 of them.
I'll start with the day one, the one you just talked about when we were together.
Cool.
There. I took Jeremy Grant for over 2.5 assists, and he only had 2. He just missed it. He had a really weird game. He didn't really play to his liking at all. He played 35 minutes. He had 5. He went 5 for 10 from field goal and 1 for 3 from 3-pointer. So he didn't score very much, and he only had 2 assists. So he didn't really even get one until the third quarter. So that was kind of rough. But we took the Jabari Smith free throw. I hope some of you guys got that in your lineups because that was a free square. He hit that. He had 2 in the first play of the game because he got fouled immediately. So that was dope. And then, to get into the night video, the one I ran solo, we had a good night. We had a sweep on that one. We took Mike Conley, not Connolly. I was so tired that night that I was calling everyone all the wrong names. I took him for over 10.5 points. He went for 17. So he had a great night. I also took Tyus Jones for over 12.5 points, and he went for, I believe it was 17. Let me see here. He actually went for 22. So he had a great night shooting. He's just been awesome. I really like Tyus lately. You know, he's been super consistent, and he's just what that team needs with his shooting. And his floater's undefeated. But I also took Jonas Valanciunas for over 10.5 rebounds. He had 13. He just got it done. I love Valanciunas, man, for 2 reasons, and I'll get into that in a second here. And then I took Jaren Jackson Jr. for over 19.5 points and assists. This wasn't even close. No, I'm just kidding. This one was like the most I've ever sweated out ever when it comes to picks. So me and Russo have this like running joke that every time I take Valanciunas, he cashes for me. But he actually cashed 2 of my plays tonight because he fouled Jaren Jackson Jr. to send the game to overtime. And it was like the dumbest possible foul you could give up in that moment. He just like threw his arms up into his arms, and he was behind him, so he got the foul. And Jackson missed 1 free throw, sent the game to overtime, and that's when he ended up hitting. I felt so good about Jaren Jackson, and honestly, like, it was super sketchy because he going into the third quarter, he only had 5 points and assists. He had a terrible night to start, and I was like, here we go, dude. Like, it's one of those picks where I'd take him and he's just out of rhythm. And then he hit like 3 threes in the fourth quarter and just like struck lightning. We go into overtime,
Yeah, man.
and he hit a couple 2s, and then he got an assist. And then for some reason, the Pelicans subbed in. They subbed out Zion, who was just blanketing Jackson all night, and they put Dyson Daniels on Jaren Jackson, and he took him to the board, and it was super easy. But yeah, it was a fun night. I was happy to see those cash.
Yeah, man. Jaren Jackson had some pretty awesome, like sort of off balance, like layups and stuff too, towards the end there. I was like, dang, man, you need to pull that out of your bag more often.
Yeah, that's why I was saying in that one video, I was like, this guy's a super athlete for how big he is. But I was happy that all of the glazing I did on Jaren Jackson paid off.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's awesome. It's kind of weird. I think that we're gonna see more and more of him looking like his old self now that Ja's back too.
For sure.
Because they can't, it's like that's just one more thing that teams have to worry about now.
Yep.
But cool. Well, let's get into our picks for
Let's do it.
first look. I've got 2 points, rebounds, and assist props that I'm going to be rolling with, and the first one is going to be I'm going to be going with Tobias Harris. We went through a spell where we kind of had to fade him for a little while, but with Embiid out, he's been the one who's benefiting the most. He's been the one stepping up and having great games. You can see these last 2 games without Embiid. We've got 48 against Toronto and 40 against Miami. Neither of those teams are easy to put those kind of numbers up against. So I'm feeling good about him keeping it rolling against Orlando, even though Orlando is pretty good. They've got like a good solid defense. So we're going to be taking him for more on PRA here. If we take a look at the over under, we've got a 225.5 over under with the Magic favored by just 3. And they're considering the fact that Embiid's out. So I think this game is going to be close. I do think that this team without Embiid can still maybe even win this game, but definitely put up a good fight, because it looks like they're just like ready to respond and not just be the type of team that doesn't look they don't look as good without Embiid. I mean, Embiid's probably the MVP, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Like, this team is like, they're hustling to try to win with or without Embiid. So I'm excited to take this one. If we look at his last 2 here without Embiid, he went for 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in his game against Toronto, and then he went for 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists against Miami. That's very balanced. These other games where he was kind of not hitting, it's because his points were lower for the most part. So I feel like when he's relied upon to do more scoring, the assists and rebounds follow because he draws more attention to himself. So yeah, I mean, they are a pretty solid defense, but even though they're like fifth against points allowed overall, and second with rebounds, second with assists. It's not quite as scary for the power forward position. Still tough matchup though. Eighth allowed for points, eighth allowed for rebounds, and seventh allowed for assists. So I think there is like a little bit of a soft spot for his position. And since he's been kind of leading the way, I do expect Maxey to like do a little bit more in this game and kind of pull his weight a little bit more. But I think that they're going to need Tobias Harris to win this game. If they have any chance of winning, they need him to have a good game. So I'm going to be taking that for the over. That's going to be my first play. And then my second play is also PRA, and I'm going to be taking Scotty Barnes for over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been kind of like, honestly, matchups that are a little bit easier, he's been really excelling in, which makes sense. But sometimes, guys just don't do as much because it doesn't take as much to win the game. But if you look at what he did against Utah, 53 points, that was, 53 PRA. That was an awesome outing for him. And I like him to keep that up against Washington. There is going to be a chance for blowout, like anytime Washington is in a game. 239 is the over under. This spread isn't too bad though. Toronto just favored by 6.5. So that shows you, we've all been watching Washington. We've been taking Tyus Jones. Like, we've been saying this all year about them. Like, even in cases of a blowout, you just never know. Like, they have the firepower to be a high scoring offense and make these teams have to keep up with them. And I'm hoping that that's the case, because I rarely see Washington blow anybody out, but they are in a decent amount of high over under games. So I'd like them to push the pace and make Toronto keep up with them. If we take a look at Scotty Barnes here, the only games that he missed this mark were games where he did score a little bit less. This one, he still put up 23 points, which is a solid outing. But my point is, I think that as long as he does a decent amount of scoring, I think that he'll hit his rebounds and assists. But if you look at this matchup, though, like Washington is 30th in all categories. Points allowed, rebounds allowed, assists allowed. So it's going to be easy for him to score. So all I'm kind of banking on is that Washington continues to put up points like the way they have and make this a high scoring game. And that'll force Scotty Barnes to stay in the game, and the matchup's easy for him to put up numbers against them. So I'm liking this to go over. And we kind of had a little bit of an issue with the Daily Grind website, so we're not jumping over to DG tonight. We're going to wait until tomorrow and see what's going on with that. But so that's these are the two I'm rolling with. I got Tobias Harris PRA over 31.5 and Scotty Barnes PRA over 38.5. What do you got for us, Jordy?
Yeah. So to get into mine here, like you said, DG is having a technical issue today, so no, not gonna be jumping over there. But that's why Outlier is great. Also, they show us a lot of information, a lot of stats and stuff. So we'd like to use them too. But anyway, I'm gonna be targeting this Toronto and Wizards game to begin with here. Like he was saying, close game. I think the Wizards will keep it competitive. They've been scoring the ball like crazy lately, so that's one way to combat terrible defenses, by actually putting up points. I'm going right back to the hot hand here. Tyus Jones. I'm going with his points again. It's just still too low. With the way he's shooting the ball, how comfortable he is getting to his spot and shooting. Orlando was the ranked 2 defense against point guards in that matchup. And if we look at this one here, they're ranked 8. So we got a little bit more breathing room here. I know Toronto's a lot like longer and bigger of a team, but I don't think he's gonna have any problem in this. The last time he played Toronto, he only played like 22 minutes and he had 10 points. So now with the extended minutes he's getting and the confidence he's playing with, I think he'll easily go over this. He's kind of taken it upon himself to score the ball more. I think you can see that with his urgency to get to his spot. So I'm just loving this guy and this pick right now. So I'm just going to stay in the flames with that. Enough said about that one. It's not even juiced again. They're going to, odds makers are going to stay disrespecting my boy here, but he's going to keep dropping that floater for us. So like him to go over. And then for my next play here, I'm going to go with RJ Barrett points and rebounds, over 21.5. I feel pretty good about this one. He's been sniffing the door of this one, even when he's not missing it, or even when he's missing it. And when he hits it, he does pretty well. It's just all about, the shooting night he has. But he's been rebounding a lot lately. As you see in the last couple games, he's averaging just about 5 rebounds. He's gone over his rebounds. His rebounds are juiced too. If you guys want to take his rebounds, take those. But I like his points rebounds here just because if he kind of slacks off in the rebounds category, he is scoring the ball decently right now. So as you see in this game, he almost went over that in points alone against Milwaukee, and they're pretty tough. So if we look at the matchup here, let's see. If we go to shooting guard, they're giving up. OKC is giving up 21 most, or 20. They're ranked 21 in points allowed, giving up 28.5 a game. Excuse me, I'm so tired today. And rebounds allowed, they're ranked 19th, giving up 8 a game. So he's got plenty of breathing room to hit this. And with his minutes and the way he's been playing, he's averaging 4.6 free throw attempts. I always mention this because it's such an easy source of scoring. When these guys are getting to the foul line, which he does, he gets to the foul line a lot because he's physical down there. So, that gives us just some free points for him to hit, and he's shooting 83% from free throws, so that's always a good sign. And I just like him to go over this. It's barely juiced. It's a minus 118, but I like it a lot. And those are the 2 I'm rolling with, man.
Awesome. Yeah. So those are the 4 we're going to be rolling with for first look, guys. I feel great about these. I'm locking them all in. I'm ready to bounce back. I need to get back into my groove here, man. I'm happy that you were in the zone with that night video. I need to get back in the zone myself. So that's what we're going to try to do here, guys. And 6 games, we should be able to get everything back on track.
Sure.
So we appreciate you watching, and if you are interested in checking out our Discord, there is a link to the description. There is a link to the Discord in the description of the video. That's going to do it for us, guys. We hope you have a great night, and we will catch you in tomorrow's daily show.
Good luck, guys.